So it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. For those of you who don't visit my channel often or maybe new here, I travel a lot for work, and I used to do these videos more all the time, but like I really like to go to like the local game stores of wherever I'm at and you know, and check them out and just kind of like see what they're all about. So if you're in the area or you're traveling, then you can check them out. So for the first time ever, I went to Tampa, Florida. Hot as hell there. Also, fun fact, apparently it's like it's like the lightning capital of the world. And I saw some crazy lightning there, so I guess that makes sense. But that said, I did check out 3 game stores that were all very cool for different reasons. And man, you gotta check these out, because if you're in the Tampa area, these game stores are like all must-see places. So without further ado, let's check these places out. So the first spot we ended up going to out here in Tampa is a place called Videogame. They're actually a chain, and I feel like I've been to one before, but you know, either way, this place was really cool. Right when you walk in, the first thing they have is a giant Mario statue that is painted like Fire Flower Mario, which is pretty neat. But like you would think, they have just a ton of games in this place, and they actually have way more than games, which is cool. And I want to talk about some of the deals that they were doing a little bit later in this segment, because you know, it's one of those things too. It's like, I think it's a deal they run all the time, but it was definitely a deal they were running while we were there. But as you can see, I mean, just a ton of games, PlayStation 2, you know, I mean, everything from you know, OG to modern. They had a pretty decent like Sega section. They do their things a little different too. They had you know, some good games in the cases, but they also had some really good games in the like behind their counter. They had figures, toys, all sorts of neat stuff. You know, lanyards and the like the Retron style consoles to play you know, different things. They did have a section which I thought was great, because it was very, very clearly marked, and the guy even like went out of his way to make sure that I knew. But they have a section like purely for repop games, and the prices are like really aren't horrible. But you know, he does say, hey, look, these are reproduction games. You know, I know that muddies the water and like makes it bad for you know, collecting purposes, but for like casual people who really just want to play a game on original hardware and don't care, you know, about if it's real or not, they are clearly marked. Like, it's not like, you know, these are like very convincing fakes they're gonna worm their way onto eBay. That said, like, you could see something like this at a convention, which would kind of suck, but that's not the way they do it here. I mean, like, they're clearly marked. He's letting you know that they are reproduction, and they're also very, very reasonably priced because of that. Another cool thing that they had going on here was they have like those like gachapon machines. You know, you get in the coins and get some cool stuff out of them. But the deal that he was running while I was there, it was like, I want to say it was like you get 3 things, or it was either 2 or 3 things, and actually I think it was 2. It was 2 things, and basically it's like you get a percentage, sizable percentage off of one of the items. So it was really cool because like it applied to everything. So you could buy like a game and a figure, and that would apply to that deal. It wasn't just games. So really neat. And the figures and stuff they had are like really cool too. Like, you know, they had like Predator and a bunch of Funko Pops, like just a bunch of toys and stuff you don't normally see. But speaking of, they had 2 toys that I had to get them to pull out so I could kind of mess with them a little bit. But I don't know if you remember Mighty Max. It's like the boy version of Polly Pocket, but they had Mighty Max stuff, and it was really cool just to like remember like just seeing those things and like opening them up and checking them out. Like, they are pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, this is a really cool shop. Like I say, if you're in the Tampa area, this is one you have to hit up. You know, it's they fill the shelves. There's a lot packed into this place, and it's really cool. The people who run it were very cool. knowledgeable too, and genuinely just some cool guys. And like I said about that deal's a really good deal in general, but like he also said, like, you know, depending on what you pick or whatever, like he might even work with you a little bit more, kind of thing. So that's even cool too, like when people are willing to work with you, or you know, have a dialogue rather than just, you know, letter of the law kind of thing. It always makes me feel like, you know, it's a shop worth checking out and going back to. Dude, so this place, like, was not on the, like, list when we, like, Googled stuff. We just, like, you know, so basically, when I visit a place, I type in game store near me and then, like, go to the, you know, the top couple places. But this place didn't even pop up. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye when I saw this Mewtwo in the window. And I was like, is that a full-size Mewtwo? What is this place? And, man, I am glad we stopped. It's called M&M Video Games. But they have a lot going on in here. Like, a lot. Like, it's way more than video games. They have, you know, so when you walk in, there's a bunch of tables set up for like events, like maybe like think like playing cards and stuff. You know, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, what have you. And then so when you walk in, like I just kind of like a full walkthrough of the store. On the first part of the wall, it's a bunch of like card stuff, sealed new, you know, booster packs and et cetera, and then they go into like board games and things of that nature. Then the whole back wall is apparently consignment from like, I don't remember if they said it was like the shop owner or like a friend of the shop owner, but it's a lot of like sports and movie memorabilia that's all like signed. And you know, so it starts out like sports, and then they have like action figures signed by voice actors, just stuff from movies, pro wrestling, all sorts of stuff. I mean, like, it's just kind of super badass. Like, as someone who likes way more than video games, like, I'm really into this kind of stuff, like being in the store, because like, you know, maybe not the sports stuff, but like, you know, a Mike Myers thing, like that'd be cool. But then you get into the games, and like there was some legit heavy hitters in here. So one issue, and this is just a personal thing that I have found when I have been traveling, I love going to game stores, I love making videos like this and highlighting the places, but my collection has gotten to the point to where like a lot of the games that I, you know, like would be buying, I already have. And one thing I really like to do is I like to spend money in these local game stores because I want to support them. But it's becoming an issue because like I don't want to spend money just to spend money, you know, like I do want to support a game store, but I'm not going to buy something I don't need either. It just seems kind of crazy. But, you know, the only stuff that it stinks, like the only stuff that I end up wanting nowadays is like astronomically expensive. And usually I don't even see it, so like it doesn't even tempt me. But here, oh man, they had some stuff that was so cool, and I ended up, you know, not buying anything just because like it was just out of my price range, and not like the store was like overpricing it. It's just like I said, the stuff I want is like really expensive. So one thing, this store had it. I've always wanted it. I want it so bad. And it is the big box, like complete in box, big box Earthbound. They had one here, and man, it hurt to see it and just not be able to buy it. Like I have a copy of Earthbound, and that's awesome, and like I'm very thankful that I have that. And I was actually I got a really good deal from a friend like 15 years ago, so I love that it's in my collection. But man, one day to be able to get that big box, like with the manual and the guidebook and everything, that would be so cool. But I mean, like, it's just hard for me to even fathom like spending hundreds of dollars on a game, not to mention over 1,000. But I mean, other than that though, they had some really neat stuff sprinkled in with the games. They had complete in box consoles, they had like action figures. They actually had some vintage Final Fantasy VII figures from Japan. It was like they had Sephiroth and Vincent. It's just really cool store. I mean, this place, like, I feel like, especially with like the way they had the table set up and everything, I feel like this is a place that would be worth like going and hanging out like on like I'm assuming like a card night type thing. I don't know. Yeah, I should have asked, but I don't know if they do like a game night type thing, like maybe they bring out TVs or something. But they definitely have the space for it. Like that's for sure. This store is huge. You know, a lot of stuff here, a lot of room for activities. So much room for activities. Look at all these Xbox games. Got so much room for activities in here. I mean, this place is dope. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if I hadn't caught the 6-foot tall Mewtwo out of the corner of my eye, I would have missed this place. I don't know why it did not pop up on Google, but it should have. And you know, shame on Google for not having this place pop up. Because yeah, if you're in Tampa, you need to check this place out for sure. Now, Bonfire Games is the game from the fire. Store hours open till 8 p.m. I'm not gonna cut the audio on this one. Na 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 na. Last but not least, the last place we got to check out, and this is like, I kind of felt bad because I feel like I kept these guys open a little bit longer than they were wanting to be. I mean, they were really cool. Like, they didn't say that. I just kind of felt like I felt bad. These guys were closing, like, right when we showed up. It's called Bonfire Games, and they have a really cool logo, which is basically, like, the bonfires from, like, Dark Souls. But they had some neat stuff here. Like, not only did they have good games, not only did they have cards, and it looks like they had some area to play cards, Magic the Gathering, etc., but they just had some like just good quality stuff. I mean, they had some figures, they had some games, they had rare things like rare consoles. You know, their case was decently stocked with like stuff that, you know, you don't see very often. You know, some cool collector's editions, some just really kind of, you know, solid titles, like some heavy hitters, but you know, just stuff that like you'd want. I mean, you know, Valkyrie Profile, Egg, Suikoden 2, like just some good solid games. Like for someone who's in that part of their collecting journey, like the part that, you know, I'm kind of like rounding the corner on, this is a great store to like fill out some of those gaps of like the games that you're like, man, like I need to get that game. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a copy of blank. Like they probably have it there. Because they got some really, really neat stuff. But, you know, it's another one of those shops where it's a little bit of a small-ish shop, which, you know, isn't a bad thing because, like, everything they had, like, it didn't seem like there's, like, shelves of crap. Like, every time I go to, like, a big store, like a really big store, there's usually, like, here's a whole bunch of shelves of just, like, 40 copies of, you know, high-stakes Vegas for the NES, and that sucks. But this place had just a bunch of bangers, a bunch of good stuff, just genuinely good stuff. I mean, they have the commons, of course, like everyone's going to have common games because, you know, people trade them in. But it just felt a little bit more curated. It just felt like a little bit of a better quality finds. And like I said, I didn't spend much time in here because they closed like... We walked in, there's like 10 minutes left, and like you could tell these guys were like, you know, packing up for the day. Once again, they weren't pushy, like get out of the store kind of thing. But this is just me personally, like I don't like to take people's time because I know what it's like to just, you know, want to go home. So I do lament not getting to spend a little bit more time here. I think when I come back to Tampa in the future for work, that I will try to spend a little bit more time at this shop and then maybe even check out a couple more. But in general, this place was cool. Really, really liked it. I wish I could have spent more time there. I highly recommend all 3 stores I went to. But this one, you know, I think this one is the spot where you will find maybe hidden gems. You know what I mean? Like, all the stores I went to were cool, but I feel like this is the one where, like, you're going to be going through looking at stuff, and, like, you know, behind that game on the shelf, you're like, holy like, what is... Oh my god, you know, like that's, I haven't seen that in forever. Like this is the kind of place where you would make those kind of finds. And I can only say that based on like the handhelds I saw. I mean, like rare variants of Game Boys that you just never see in stores. So yeah, definitely a cool place to check out. Bonfire Games. Really, all these places I showed are really cool if you're in the Tampa area. But yeah, man, you definitely should check these guys out. Yeah, like I said, those are the spots that I got to see. Hopefully, when or if I go back there in the future for another, slew of work. There's a couple more stores I didn't get to see, only because, they closed at like 8, and, driving around Tampa, there's a lot of traffic, and, I didn't get done until, like 6 o'clock. So, by the time you get driving around and check out the game store, all of a sudden time has gotten away from you. So I hope to go check some of these places out again, and also some of the more spots when I'm down there. But hey, if you're in the Tampa area, let me know what you think about these stores, or if you have any suggestions of places I should go when I go back down. Like, that would be awesome. Because yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking more places out, and also just checking out these places a little bit more in detail. But hey, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. It would be phenomenal. But as always, my friends, take it easy.